If you have a 5-volt AES, or even if you don't, this video is going to be probably something that you want to watch all the way through. Hey there everybody, Travis Bowman here. I'm a fingerstyle guitar player and retro video game nerd. We need to have a discussion about the Neo SD Pro for the Neo Geo AES. Now, this is a flash cartridge for your Neo Geo AES Advanced Entertainment System. This is manufactured and produced by a company called Tera Onion, and they've done a few products in the past, but this is by far their most expensive product, clocking in at about 600 American dollars. It's a lot of money, plus shipping, of course. If you're unfamiliar with what a flash cartridge is, so I've got my Game Boy Advance, and inside of this, we've got the EverDrive GBA. All you gotta do is just put that cartridge into your system, turn it on, and you are greeted with the EverDrive menu. So you've got folders that you can select things from. I'll just press A and pick the first game and then start game. It loads up, and boom, I'm in the game. It's a very, very quick and easy process for something like the Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. When the Neo Geo comes into play, however, it gets a little more complicated than that. So here I've got my AES, and the Neo SD Pro is in this cartridge slot right here. Like the Game Boy EverDrive, this cartridge is fitted with a micro SD slot that allows you to load up basically any game that you could possibly want, as long as it's, correct for the system. The problem with my system is that it's a 5-volt console. The Neo Geo AES in particular had a few board revisions throughout its lifespan, and I believe we're dealing with two different voltages, and that's going to be your 5-volt and your 9-volt system. Mine is an early revision. It's the first revision, actually. This is a NEO-AES, NEO-AES, and apparently this cartridge does not like this system. This Neo SD Pro is just drawing way too much power for the console. So I'll show you exactly what's happening with my console. I'll get you some B-roll footage so you can see what it looks like. We've got some very, very disgusting, nasty graphical glitching going on with my particular AES and this cartridge. Now, I have tested my AES with the 161-in-1, which is a much cheaper alternative. And this is a cartridge that's manufactured in China. It's very readily available for anybody that has an AES. It's still kind of pricey, but if you just want to play some games, this is a very good alternative. Now, the issue that I'm having seems to be only specific to this Neo SD Pro. So I'm getting graphical glitches only when I'm in a game. The menu shows no graphical glitches whatsoever. When I load up a game from the SD card, I'm getting no glitches at all. It's only when the game starts that I'm having these errors and these glitches. And so I've tried a number of different things. I tried cleaning my cartridge ports, that didn't do anything. I tried cleaning the pins on the cartridge itself, which was actually a little dirty, believe it or not, brand new. It was just a hair dirty. Just got some black stuff on a Q-tip, no big deal. I've actually had my console professionally recapped and RGB modded, so it's got brand new high quality capacitors. I don't think that my console is necessarily at fault due to failing parts or anything like that. And doing a lot of research and asking people that are a hell of a lot smarter than me regarding, power supplies and stuff like that, we've determined that this particular 5-volt console, for whatever reason, just doesn't play nice with this particular cartridge. Now, this is the Neo SD Pro. They do have another version called the Neo SD that came out before. The main differences between the Pro and this one is that you can have 5 slots in total that you can load up with your games. Now, these Neo Geo flash cartridges are not like the EverDrive that I showed you at the beginning of the video, where you can just load up a game and go. You've got a number of different slots that you can load up these games into, and you can have them either in flash memory or you can have them in RAM. Either way, it's not that complicated. You just have to pick basically your favorite games that you want to play whenever and load them into those slots, and then you can actually play the game. So my point is, if you have a 5-volt NEO-AES, or even if you don't, this video is going to be probably something that you want to watch all the way through. I'm having a very specific issue, so my prerogative is that I want Tera Onion to know about this because it pertains to them. I definitely want them to know about this so they can kind of spread the word and maybe see if we can troubleshoot this and figure out a solution. I don't know anything about, you know, electrical engineering or voltages or hardware or anything like that. I just know from my own testing that this is not working out. So I'm trying to see if we can figure out why. Now here's the problem with Tera Onion. They've had a lot of flack in the past due to their customer service, or I should say the lack thereof. They're not very they're not really excited about helping their customers after they've received the money. At least that's what I've gathered from other people sharing their stories about this company. You can get firmware updates. Now, Crix, with the EverDrive line of cartridges for like the Game Boy or the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, stuff like that, he's very, very active in maintaining his cartridges and supplying people with firmware updates, keeping his stuff, you know, firmware updatable. Things change, things get better. Here's a firmware update to have the best of the best with your product that you purchased. That sort of situation. The RetroTink 5X is an upscaler by Mike Chi. He is also very, very active on those firmware updates. Tera Onion seems to be kind of doing that, but the problem is obtaining that firmware update. If I was going to get on the EverDrive website or Mike Chi's website for the RetroTink line of products, there it is right there. Just go to the firmware update section. You can download whatever you want. You can download later or earlier firmware updates if you so desire. Tera Onion doesn't do that. You have to make an account in order to access firmware updates with Tera Onion. I've had experience doing this with the Super HD System 3 for the PC Engine. And I've also had some experience doing this with the Mode, which is an internal modification for your Sega Dreamcast or your Sega Saturn. In my opinion, this is not a really good business model, and I think primarily their reason for doing this is to prevent their products from being sold secondhand, because if you can find it cheaper on eBay, yeah, I'll grab that for 50 or 60 bucks less than brand new. I don't care. It's a used product. I'm into used products if I can save some money. The problem is that serial number on that product is tied to that specific account. And unless you have access to that specific account, you are completely out of luck if you want to get a firmware update and update to the latest firmware. So I don't really like that. Now, it goes a step further with this particular product right here, at least as of the making of this video. This might change in the future. I really don't know. The Neo SD Pro, you cannot, even with your own account logged in, you cannot download a firmware update right now. I don't know why. I don't know why that they're doing this, but their solution, which is not clear necessarily on the website, but I had to do some digging around and asking in all sorts of different groups and forums and Reddit and stuff like that. There's a Discord server that's just Tera Onion. That's their own Discord server, and their solution for firmware updates for this device is to get on Discord, join the Discord server, and reach out to a guy named Alex. And apparently, from what I've heard, he is the co-owner of this company called Tera Onion. I don't really have concrete, solid information about this, but when I got in there, yeah, I'm searching for this guy. Please help me. This is an issue that I'm having. He did not respond to my issues that I'm having with his product. And I messaged him personally asking, hey, is there a firmware update? Like, I'm completely shooting in the dark with my issue. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if this is just a specific thing for my console. Can this even be fixed for 5-volt consoles, early 5-volt consoles? Can we do something to fix this? Am I just out of luck? And if so, if that's the case, then you guys really should probably make some sort of announcement or disclaimer on your website saying, hey, this is probably not going to be 100% compatible with every single AES console, and these are the precautions that you might want to take. I'm trying to help others, you know, because this is a lot of money. It's a $600 cartridge, you know what I mean? And I have a very expensive and rare piece of technology here with the Neo Geo AES. These things are very, very sought after, very expensive, and I have an early revision console that seems to not work with this cartridge. So I'm trying to reach out and try to help others not have this same issue. but it seems like the guys at Tera Onion really have no interest in listening to what I have to say. So I reached out to Alex. I sent him a private message because that's what he has claimed that he wants people to do. Message me privately and send me your serial number, and I will give you a firmware update. But just so happens, right now we're in August of 2024. He has said in the Discord that he just needs a little break right now. He said, I need a little break. Please reach out to me in September. Everybody needs a little break, man. But you are selling very expensive products, and your customer service probably needs to be a priority, I would think. People spent $600 on this, and this is the best that you can do when it comes to troubleshooting. Luckily, I did not purchase this directly from Tera Onion, and if you were considering buying something like this from Tera Onion, I would very, very strongly advise you to not buy directly from them. Stone Age Gamer is a great company. They do distribution for a lot of these great products, and they sell the Neo SD Pro on their website as well. If you're gonna do something, if you're gonna purchase something, I would definitely suggest that you get it from Stone Age Gamer, because at least they will respond to you and try to help you out with this. So, and I know the guys at Stone Age Gamer, they're really great people, and we've done some stuff together in the past. I've done review videos on some of the products that they have for sale, and I reached out to them to grab the Neo SD Pro, and you know, this is no fault of theirs. They just distribute the product. They don't make it or anything, but still, they made an attempt to help me, which is wild to me that the person that made this has no qualms to actually help. But they told me that one other person has had this issue with an early AES console with this particular cartridge. So they had this gentleman send in his cartridge to let them do some testing at Stone Age Gamer. And they told me what they found is that they've done a recap, they've done all your normal checks, you know, making sure that the cartridge port is fine, that everything is getting the proper voltage that it should. And it just seems as though with this particular AES and this cartridge, this is taking too much power that this power supply and this board revision does not have to spare. So the graphical glitches that we are seeing with my particular console appears to be those graphics chips on the motherboard just not getting the full power that it needs to display those graphics, because that power is being transferred to the SD card on this cartridge, which really sucks, man. It really sucks, because other than the graphical glitching, it's awesome. It's really awesome to have a cartridge that is capable of doing all this stuff. The solution that Stone Age Gamer has come up with, that they've done with their own troubleshooting and testing, is that it's just the Pro. The Neo SD Pro, for some reason, just draws too much power, but the original Neo SD, that doesn't have all those extra features, appeared to work just fine with this other gentleman's AES. So I think that's what I want to try to do, because I've tried multiple different power supplies. I tried a Japanese one that came with my console. That's the initial one that I had, and then I tried a Triad power supply. Now that Triad power supply was a $20 power supply, nothing too crazy, but I was even so desperate to try this power supply. This is the Neo Geo Ultra 5 volt from Retro Game Cave. It's a big power brick right there, but if you look, it specifically states that it's designed to work with the 5 volt AES console and the Neo SD Pro or Neo SD. And the differences between the Triad and this one is that they're all 5 volts. All three power supplies that I have are 5 volt consoles, but the amps, you see it says 6A there. There's a little more of those. Again, I don't know anything about electrical equipment, so I don't know if that was going to make a difference or not. Sure enough, it didn't. Oddly though, the graphical glitching gets a little less terrible when I'm using this power supply, but at the end of the day, it's 5 volts and it's just not enough. It's just not enough to power everything, the console and the Neo SD Pro. So this is a very expensive power supply, by the way. After shipping, it's about $70, which is insane, but to no avail. And I reached out to the gentleman at Retro Game Cave to get his thoughts about it, and he agreed that it's probably just an issue with that micro SD card just drawing too much power with those extra features on that Neo SD Pro. So, needless to say, it's extremely frustrating. that this is how Tera Onion kind of does their stuff. And, you know, to each their own and everything, but I do wish that they would be a little more open to caring about their customers, to be honest, because I've reached out and no response, and it's like, I'm on vacation, I don't care. And you know, it's not just now. There are several sources online that state that these guys at Tera Onion are really terrible, and their customer service basically just doesn't exist, which is insane to me because their products are very expensive. Ironically, they're some of the best out there. You know, the Super HD System 3, that's probably your best all-in-one solution if you want a flash cartridge type situation for your PC Engine or TurboGrafx 16 console. Not only does it give you that micro SD card where you can play all your games both on the Hue cards and the CD games, but it's also a really nice all-in-one solution that gives you RGB video quality out. And you can do that with analog using a Sega Genesis RGB SCART cable, or you can just go out via the HDMI. It's a really cool product, but it just sucks that they do things like this with having to sign up with an account, having your serial number locked to that account. If you don't have any problems and everything works as it should, then that's no big deal. Yeah, screw it, I'll make an account if I just have to download a firmware update and put it on there, and then I'm good to go for however many years, unless they come out with another firmware update, you know. But I'm really unsatisfied with this product. Not just because of my equipment. I mean, I realize that it's my AES. It's just a 5-volt console. But the problem is, the issue that I want to see resolved, that I know probably likely will not, is the fact that they have no desire to let people know about this. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm putting this video out there for those of you that have a 5-volt AES console to try to prevent you from dealing with something like this, and warn you and let you know if you're going to buy this, get it from Stone Age Gamer. They will help you out if you have any issues. Don't get it directly from Tera Onion because you're going to be completely out of luck. And I'm sorry to say that. And I'm sorry for those who actually paid the money to Tera Onion to do this, to get this cartridge. But I think what I'm going to do, I've been in touch with the guys at Stone Age Gamer, really super nice guys. And they were so open to working with me on reviews and stuff. And I'm a small YouTuber. I don't have millions of subscribers. But they were so open to working with a small guy like me because they know I'm passionate about this stuff. And respect, like, thank you. That means everything to me that you guys are so open to working with guys like me who are just super passionate about this. I think what we've agreed upon is that I am going to return this Neo SD Pro back to Stone Age Gamer, and in exchange they are going to send me the non-pro version of this cartridge, and we're going to see if it's going to work with my system. Now if it doesn't, there's really not much else I can do. I could try to sell my console, or in what world I don't know, exchange it for a 9-volt console, because that seems to be the revision that people don't have issues with this Neo SD Pro. But I'm kind of at a loss, really. I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know what's going on, and I'm going to put a pause on it right now because I still have that Neo SD Pro. I'm going to ship it back to Stone Age Gamer, and I'll get that Neo SD, and we'll do some testing and see if that made a difference.